Who am I? Who is Matt Shepherd Fit? What are my credentials? What have I actually done with my life? And why should you listen to anything that I've got to say? Are all very important questions that we're going to cover in this video. So, before that, I want to explain that I'm going to use this channel to develop my own fitness, show you guys the process, and also look to develop a brand within fitness to help you guys achieve your goals as best as possible. To get things started, I'm going to enter a short montage of everything that I've done in the last 2 years. Cue the music.
Amazing run, look at him, smooth at the finish. Brilliant running. Amazing lap.
Now, with that out of the way, enjoy the next clips and let's get into story time. So to start with, let's get the basics out the way. I am 25, a full-time accountant, meaning that unlike a lot of the people that you see on YouTube, fitness isn't my full-time job. It is obviously important in my life because I've decided to pick up a camera and film my activities, but I don't get paid to do it yet. The logical next question that I often get is, have you always been athletic or into fitness? And my answer is not as black and white as most people's normally. Clear yes, child athlete, or clear no, fat kid. I was kind of both. So when I was young, like year 1, year 2, if you're in the UK, whatever age that is if you're in America, I got introduced to karate by my dad and went quite frequently. Didn't get very far, but went for a while. And would often go to the gym with my dad because at the time he was massively into bodybuilding. So we used to go to an old school hardcore bodybuilding gym and I'd kick the heavy bag or do a couple of sit-ups and curl the 5 kilo dumbbells whilst he did his session. So I was involved in fitness, but I wasn't, actively a fit child. And then it all changed. I went massively the other way, got into gaming as kids do, fell out of love with the gym and put a lot of weight on. A lot of weight, was a big kid. And then naturally, in British high schools, that doesn't bode well. So going into year 7, I got myself the nickname Tits, Pucker Pies 07, Fatty Matty, and the rest of whatever abuse that came with it. Went through a fair bit of bullying that I tried to hide from the parents. Your standard, pinned at the back of the bus and beaten by the year 11s and some stuff like that. So not big into fitness in that space at all. I will throw a picture of Fatty Matty here. Okay, now moving on. From there, I got introduced to mixed martial arts, MMA, cage fighting, whatever you want to call it. Which meant that as someone who had been powerless, so to speak, I gripped learning a martial art with both hands and kind of did that as my primary form of exercise for the best part of 10 years, with some small gaps in between. Also got more involved in the gym, started lifting weights a little bit, but not really properly and not really hard because I didn't really know what I was doing until about lockdown when I got qualified, but we'll come on to that later. In that time, became like the fit person, so I went from the fat bully victim to sort of one of the athletes in the school, which meant that I saw how that changes when you get in shape and how important that can be from a societal aspect. Getting picked for sports teams, even though I wasn't very good at the sport and knew nothing about it, because I had a general fitness, then you get picked because, well, clearly you'll be able to manage. From there, we move into adulthood, in which case I will move on to the next chapter. So, as an adult, I basically went Kind of the opposite way, to be honest. From like 19 to 21, I was training, but I wasn't training particularly well or particularly hard. I wasn't eating right, and with COVID and whatever else, kind of was like depressed without knowing it, I think. So would eat takeaways and drink whiskey in my bedroom or whatever. And then everything changed. I kind of sort of had an epiphany where I was like, I'm sick of this. Never again. It's time to just start from scratch. Had just come out of a job and was ready to go into a new one. Looked at myself one day completely out of shape, insert clip here, and yeah, basically said this needs to change. It's going to change now, and I will never be in this shape ever again. That was in 2022 or 2023. 22. Yeah, 2022. September 22. I went back to what I knew and went back to the basics. Started boxing. Picked up like a little white collar fight just to give me a reason to get back in shape. Lost 8 kilograms, I think, which on a physique like mine makes a big difference. Insert weight, weigh-in picture, yep. And from there just built momentum. Then decided that I was going to go into my first marathon, which was November 22, which I picked up an Achilles injury, couldn't train for, and kind of just goggins my way through it. With a time of 4 hours 28 minutes on a course with like 600 or 700 meters of elevation, something that I thought then was a lot and now think is, I don't know, a small hill. But that's sort of how this evolution started, which brings me on to the next chapter, which is then to now, which is where shit gets interesting. After Delamere, and with the full support of my new girlfriend Beck, or then new girlfriend, now obviously living partner, a friend of mine, Joel, decided to say that I didn't have the minerals to do a powerlifting comp, of which I said, watch me, as I have a tendency to do. You will learn that in the future. So in Feb of 24, with no powerlifting experience, I decided, fuck it, we'll do a 10-week block, see what we can do. And came up with, I think, a 500 kilo total, 202.5 kilo deadlift, 122.5 kilo bench, and 170, 175 kilo squat. I can't actually remember. I was like, okay, now we're on a roll. But in that process, obviously, had to go up a weight class to the 83s. So I had put back on the 8 kilos that I'd lost, meaning that once again, body dysmorphia kicked in, and I thought, wow, I look like dog shit. So now it's time for a marathon. Decided that 8 weeks after the powerlifting competition, I was going to try and run 3:30, knock an hour off my off my marathon time. Why not? Because who does that? Me. I do that a lot. And yeah, locked in, followed Nick Bear's marathon program, because he was the only hybrid athlete / guy that was lifting and running that I knew of at the time, and came out with a 3:28. So took exactly an hour off my marathon time. Oh god, oh, it's wet. Going from trail to road. And I was like, shit, quite good at this running malarkey. I'm not walking through that. Look at the state of that. Every time I come down here, there's an absolute river. No thank you. Following on from the 3:30, Beck then goes to me, have you heard of High Rocks? I go, High Rocks, what's that? She shows me and I go, oh, CrossFit without the skill. Well, I was wrong. Proceeding onwards, joined with Cammy and the Phase 7 lot, then at HPC, now at Hale Training Club, and haven't looked back ever since. Cammy is the best in the business. During that process, my physique sort of evolved into this last year, which was my peak. But after our mixed doubles in December, where we ran 110 something, or 111, 110, something like that, I decided to tackle a solo. Then also a sub-3 marathon. Again, I do that a lot, which, as I mentioned, you will learn going forward. To recap so far, what have we done? We have started to get back in shape and ran a 4:28 trail marathon with no training because of an Achilles injury, 2 white collar boxing matches in 2 weeks, but it's white collar, so we won't count that. a 3:30 marathon on 8 weeks training, a powerlifting block on 10 weeks training, and now doing high rocks because, you know, why not? I then proceeded to continue on that trend, run a 2:56 at Manchester with a lot of very hard work and long sessions over winter, and then a 1 hour 2:48 at Manchester. I also forgot to mention that before that point, I decided to run 115 kilometre ultra right before high rocks with Beck. I do that a lot. You will learn that going forward. See a trend? So yeah, basically, that doesn't even start to get up to where we're at. After that, I've ran a last man standing, ran 171k. I've done mission represent with March On, done 12 hours, 5k every hour into max distance ski, held an average pace of 4:28 for 60k. I've ran 130k in the Lake District at the 13 Valleys Ultra, which I DNF'd because I'm a failure, but we're going back next year. And yeah, I do that. I like to race, I like to push my body to its absolute limits, but in doing so, I've amassed a lot of credentials, as well as being a qualified sort of coach, which means that I'm quite good, if I'm honest. But I have a wide range of experience in fitness, both in my own and in other people's. I like helping people achieve goals. I am as dedicated as they come, as disciplined as they come, but I'm also no bullshit. I intend on using this channel to help people achieve their fitness goals, as well as show you how I achieve mine, and in that just be myself, try and just be normal and not like have a facade. So I'm not someone who's going to stop swearing because there's a camera in front of the way. I'm not someone who's going to soften my approach and not say someone's a dickhead if they're a dickhead. I'm not someone who's going to say it's okay to be lazy when I know full well that doesn't reflect my morals. And I'm someone that appreciates hardworking individuals, which is why I want to take this channel in the direction I want to take it in. It's why I want to build the community I want to build. It's why I want to coach the type of people I want to coach, is because I want people who are similar in that respect to me, who care about their fitness, who want to work hard, who want to push themselves and push their boundaries and achieve new things. So if you're like that, I would highly recommend you subscribe, you like this video, you drop a comment to let me know you're the same and what you've done so far. But that's kind of a catch up. So if we're going to summarise, I was the fat kid in school, I got bullied relentlessly, decided to make a change, turned into, and I quote from Friends, the David Goggins of Liverpool. Which I'm not, by the way, but I'm getting there, slowly but surely. And I just want to help people be better and be better myself. So if that helps you, as I say, follow, like and subscribe, like and comment. I'll get there with this YouTube stuff, still not good at it yet. And yeah, that's a summary of where we're up to. Just a hard working bastard who refuses to give in and doesn't take no for an answer and is always willing for a challenge. If that sounds like you, stick with us.